Hello, welcome to another review of Death, this time guest starring Gizmo and Kat.
Yeah, I'm the least important one.
No, you're joking. So, we're talking about everything we don't know about Series 11 and the new Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker. Because you haven't really said anything.
No.
Other than Twitter going...
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't really say much about it, mainly because I was away on holiday. I didn't have much signal, so I couldn't really comment on it as it was happening.
Yeah.
But I'm, really happy. Really, really happy about it. And I was saying earlier, we were talking about it, I had exactly the same reaction that Kat detailed in the announcement reaction video you guys did, where that overcoming of emotion where you just go, oh, yeah, that's right. That feels right. That's good. That's the good shit right there. Just that feeling of this is brilliant and I'm really happy about it, and there was no hesitation through the whole process of me going, don't know what to think about this. There was obviously shock. Yeah. Like just seeing, I can remember just the sequence of shots of like when you first see her eye and it's like, okay, it's a woman. Then like, okay, you've got like a split second to accept that before you find out who it is. And then Jodie Whittaker, and I'm not a follower of her work. I've literally only seen her in Broadchurch. And, Series 3 of Broadchurch at that, which according to you guys isn't. Yeah,
I'm not a fan of season 3.
And I haven't seen her in the what's it called?
Trust Me.
Trust Me. I didn't see her in that either. But from all accounts, she seems like an absolutely fantastic actress from what I have seen of her. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, not only is this obviously a huge moment generally, but especially in the context of Doctor Who, this literally going into this completely blind. Yeah. There's no way we can... All the other male doctors, you can say, oh, Matt's got a bit of Triton in him. Or Capaldi's got a bit of Arnold to him, or whatever. Can't do that with Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, because maybe she's young and she's got blonde hair like Peter Davison or whatever. But there's no other There's nothing to compare it to. No precedent set for it before.
Yeah, I mean, like when Capaldi was cast, we all had an inkling that he was going to be a bit Malcolm Tucker-esque, and he was to begin with.
We also had an inkling he'd be more of a classic Doctor than he would be of the sort of current recent.
Yeah, and he was like that to begin with.
More throwback,
and like, I think probably more this year as well.
Yeah, they found it.
Yeah, Series 9 was the.
Which is a shame.
Where it was like, Dr. Disco, Dr. Funkenstein.
Well, you know I like that, but... you know I like Dr. Funkenstein. Your funk is the best.
That's a song, have you heard it?
No.
Yeah.
Dr. Funkenstein.
I've not heard Dr. Funkenstein.
Yeah, Billy played it for me.
Wow.
It is the coolest song.
It's pretty magical.
It's funky.
It's a shame that this was his last series, because I reckon if he did have another series, it'd have been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'd have felt so right, you know.
Yeah. So word is that that all these times that he's been going, I was asked to come back and Christian will talk to him and all this kind of stuff. Word is that yes, all those things did happen, but the caveat was you only stay for the first few episodes, and then you leave partway through the series, and the new female Doctor takes over.
Wow, that would have been really interesting to see.
Yeah, it would have been interesting, but
evidently he didn't like that.
Yeah, I guess it's difficult, isn't it, for him, because he's probably like, well.
Probably just want to rip the plaster off, just
yeah, because you're going to be sort of there.
It's kind of like, well, he'd be left in limbo then, because it's like, the guy who brought me in is gone. Yeah, I'm going to be leaving partway through anyway.
Like, I'll be here for a couple of months, and then I'll leave. But I know that it's still going. Whereas like now, when he left at Christmas, he was like, well, so many of the production team are changing, and it's like all new people, it's all new everything.
And I guess it helps more for them to not be burdened. By having to balance 2 Doctors in one season and all that kind of like just logistically and also like stylistically having to have those characters change over partway through a season.
Yeah, I mean like they'd have to change the title sequence like halfway through the series. You know? So that would be a ball ache. The eyes would have to go, or unless they changed the title sequence from the off and it was just the name came up. So whether or not that's true, I don't know, but that is the general consensus, is that he was just going to be asked to do only the beginning of the series. Wow. So it was a bit like a Colin Baker thing, that he was only asked to come back to do the first 4 episodes before They give him the boot.
Crikey.
So one of the things you said to us when you first got here today was, or what do you think about all the Bradley Walsh rumours?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're sort of going to save that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were going to save it for this. So when I first heard it, I'll be honest, I was just like, my first reaction was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was
Yeah.
like, come
What
on.
was funny is I had to find out the Bradley Walsh thing myself because you never told me.
No, I didn't tell you because I thought it was nonsense. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just tabloid shit.
Yeah.
I'm not even
I-
about
don't
yeah,
bother
no,
looking at it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even like you didn't even mention it. And
Yeah, I
by the
didn't
time,
even
by
say
the
to
time I
you.
found it out, you were sort of okay with it by then.
Yeah, because like I've never really seen Bradley Walsh as a proper actor. I know he did that episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures, but I can't remember that. I can't remember what he was like in that. But I only really know him as a light entertainer. I knew he did Law and Order UK with which under Chris Chibnall again. So I think like once I knew that it was Chibnall who did Law and Order, I was like, "Oh, hang on, this adds a bit more credit to this to this story." But I like him as a light entertainer, and I showed you that funny clip of him on Des and Mel when he was doing that stuff about being an old man. And yeah, he's great. I like him. In fact, I've seen him like that. I thought he's quite doctory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he's going to be like
The
the
main
companion.
Right.
I think it's probably going to be a bit like a Jackie Tyler situation. Like
Okay.
he's going to be like a parent or
Of someone,
you
yeah.
know, it'll be a bit of a Wilfred Mott. Like
Yeah.
you know, you keep seeing him every so often. You know, he becomes part of the program.
Cool.
But, yeah.
When I heard it, I thought it was ridiculous. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
But like the more sort of I saw sort of clips of him, I was actually I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm quite fond of him. I quite
Yeah,
like
he's a
him.
nice chap.
And I've got faith in Chris because if you go back and watch the first series of Broadchurch eventually, well, you'll get a better idea of Jodie Whittaker's acting chops because she's just blows your mind in that first series.
Yeah, she's very good.
She's very very good. But also you watch that first series of Broadchurch and you know his casting choices are
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He does cast good
his
people in
casting
it.
choices are wonderful. And if he has faith in Bradley Walsh to be good in whatever role he puts him in, I trust Chris Chibnall to be like you know, sort of hitting the nail on the
Yeah.
head.
Okay.
I mean, what did you think? Were you
So basically, I had exactly the same reaction. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then I made up my own little silly idea of how I thought it could work because obviously there are going to be a lot of detractors to the season from the off. You know, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Woman
yeah,
in the TARDIS, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought it might be quite interesting to have like a chauvinistic character brought on board as the
Right.
companion to then to have their wrongs righted or
Oh,
just
I
kind of be
see.
so look this is fine. So the idea I had was Walsh as like a copper on
Right.
the street in the 60s or the
Yeah,
50s
yeah, yeah.
and he goes to a telephone box to
Yeah.
you know lock a crim in it.
Bit like Bernie Cribbins.
Exactly
yeah,
like Bernie
yeah,
Cribbins
yeah.
in Dark Invasion of Earth.
Yeah.
Goes in, TARDIS introduced to it all,
Yeah.
taken on an adventure with with the criminal or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you know the whole thing of like he thinks she's a female copper, and it's
Right.
like that's not something
Yeah,
that
yeah,
happens.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And basically just drawing parallels to you can't be a police officer, there can't be a female doctor.
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
kind of
Bit of
stuff.
social commentary.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that especially of the time, but also
yeah.
that like that's such a dinosaur view to have now.
Yeah.
Like people still hold that opinion and you know all that kind of stuff.
It's a very clever idea.
That's
And
a
I
really
just
good
thought,
idea.
like as they go through the season, they just develop like a really I guess kind of like Donna 10
Yeah.
kind of like friendly buddy
Yeah,
relationship
yeah,
where they're
yeah.
just like mates and
They like take the piss out of each other.
take the pick out of each
yeah.
other, and he learns that it, like to not think of people in that
Yeah.
to not be
He
so
like grows as a
judgmental.
character.
Grows as a
from his
character,
experiences.
and I just think having an older man on board the TARDIS as a companion. Like I would like to have seen Wilfred in the TARDIS because you know
He was
he's like a
wonderful,
lovable
yeah,
character.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's
everyone.
Bernard Cribbins anyway, but I think that might be an interesting dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah.
You know, I can't unless he's like a dad or whatever, and there is
Yeah.
some kind of I can't really see it another way. He'd be brought on full time.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
this is the thing. Like I keep seeing rumours. The rumour that I keep seeing the biggest on Gallifrey Base is that there's going to be 3 companions, and that it is going to be Bradley Walsh, maybe a younger man, and a young girl. And the idea is that they're either like a family of 3, or it's like him, Bradley Walsh and his daughter, and then like her boyfriend,
Yeah.
you know, that sort of thing. Which should be interesting because we've never really had like a proper family
In
in the
the
TARDIS. You know,
Might
that'd
be
be
a
a very
bit, might be a bit overwhelming, loading us up with lots of characters all at once.
yeah.
Possibly,
that's the thing. Is so I don't know if they sort of said that it would be like. You'd have like one to begin with or two to begin with, and then later on in the series you'd introduce like the other one. So it'd be a bit like Captain Jack or
So what kind of companion would you like to see?
That was a question we were going to answer in the Q&A.
It was
just like what is your ideal companion? So I guess we could say what companion would be like.
I mean, like it's because of having a female doctor.
This is the thing.
There's a lot of people who say, you know, there's a female doctor, so they should have a male companion. But then
Yeah.
other
I
people
don't
are arguing
think
you
that's-
don't need a male companion. You can have another girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So what kind of what would you like to see paired up with her? I mean, again, we're judging this solely based on the fact that we've got a girl doctor because we don't know what her, you know, we don't know what her
Yeah.
personality's like
Yeah.
at all.
It's difficult. I mean, I think I'd just still stick with a woman, a
Okay.
female companion. I think I'd also probably stick, personally, to just one companion,
Okay.
at least for now, because I think in recent years we've had like a lot of, you know, we had Nardole
Yeah.
with Billy. No, sorry,
Bill.
Bill. Billy, you're Billy. We had Nardole with Bill. You know, we had Rory with Amy. You know, and that all worked well, and that was all nice. But I'd quite miss the just Doctor and
I'm with
Yeah.
you.
yeah. You know,
I like one companion.
I mean, I know they like Clara. It was just the Doctor and Clara,
Mm.
but you know, Clara sort of
She had ties and stuff.
yeah.
and-
There was too much going on with her.
Yeah. Yeah, and her with the character as
Yeah.
in herself.
Yeah.
There was too much going on.
So yeah, I think I would just like. I mean, I really liked Bill, so I'm
I
really
loved Bill.
disappointed that she's not carrying on.
Yeah.
But I would just like a Bill-esque character.
Yeah.
You know, just a young woman who meets up with the Doctor. Yeah.
One of my favourite TARDIS teams is Sarah and Harry,
Yeah.
the Fourth Doctor.
Yeah.
So I quite like, just because I used to watch a lot of Revenge of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
And I just thought they were a great dynamic.
Mm.
Because it was so platonic.
Yeah.
There was no kind of would they weren't they?
No,
At
there's
least
anything
like
like
now you could add that
but
level,
yeah.
which is fine provided you know it's done well.
Yeah.
But that goes with anything.
And it works in nicely with like what you were saying about with like the Bradley Walsh thing because
Yeah.
with Sarah and Harry, you know, you've got Sarah who is this. I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a woman in a role that is generally a male role. At that point,
Yeah.
I'm superwoman's lib. You know,
And Harry's really old-fashioned.
Harry's old-fashioned, very very chivalrous, and
Yeah.
you know he's like completely like you know,
Very
di-
conservative.
helping her down.
Yeah, I don't need your help.
Would you like to see a man and woman with two men? Or
The genders, it doesn't matter to me really. I
Yeah.
see a man and woman, but that's because
Traditionally,
I haven't
it's
seen
always-
anything
yeah,
else. So yeah, like a Sarah Harry. I think, given that is a massively popular period of the show, I still think Harry and Sarah, Harry specifically, massively underrated as a companion on board the TARDIS. You know, Jamie and Victoria, Jamie and Zoe.
Yeah.
That whole dynamic's lovely.
Always works
and, you know,
really well.
I think it works really nicely.
Yeah, because it's almost a bit of like the for those TARDIS teams, it's very much like the male companion is almost like a big brother to the little sister.
Yeah.
It's sort of almost a bit like that, and perhaps if the rumours of it being a family-oriented thing are true, you know,
Yeah.
I guess you're getting like a little bit of that. Perhaps
I do like though the fact that you can separate the home life from the TARDIS.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to be having domestics in the
On-
console.
yeah.
That would just be like, just have another show for that, or just like just separate them out and have one set at home having their you know qualms about living on Earth and have the adventures elsewhere. You know, it's just I wouldn't want the TARDIS to become too domesticated.
No.
Because I felt like it got like that when you had like, you know, Tegan and Adric and Nyssa and that whole lot felt way too cosy.
Yeah.
And the TARDIS was too crowded.
well, you know, I've watched like basically every single episode of like the
Modern
recent
stuff,
of the
yeah.
modern stuff. Not by choice, but I have done it. So, and you know, it's not like I find active displeasure in watching it with you. I'm still very, as someone who you know, very much enjoys television media, I'm still watching it from the viewpoint of someone who kind of understands what you're getting out of it, and I can still critique stuff as you know, as someone who comes from that background. I don't know. I think there's like although the sort of the gender doesn't matter to you guys, it doesn't matter to me either. But there's been a lot of ambiguity around that. I feel like sort of on the internet as to kind of what it should be. Hopefully Jodie Whittaker is going to be good enough that she's around long enough where we see a change in changing companions.
Yeah.
I honestly I don't mind. I mean, I think that I quite like a male-female dynamic. Not for any other reason than it's just there's a lot of difference there, and I like the companion to be very, very different to the Doctor. So I like that dynamic. I would like to see like a Bill type character as well. I prefer the Doctor and companion relationship because I feel like I get a real strong idea of what the two of them have built between each other. So like whether you've got this like uncle and like niece dynamic, and I feel like it gets stronger the longer they go together. But I feel like I do worry that if there was two girls, there would be a lot of
slash fiction.
well, no, not slash. Well, yeah, there is that, but there'd be a lot of moral outrage, like even more than we've had already, because it's like the boys are going to be like, what are we going to find in this? What are we going to get out of just watching two women on screen? But I quite like the male-female dynamic, but eventually I'd like to see a female companion with the female Doctor as well. I wouldn't like to see any more than sort of two companions. I don't think I like the idea of there being three.
Yeah.
I feel like to me that's too overcrowded.
I'm really sold on your idea for like
that's a really, really good idea.
I really like that. I'm now going to be disappointed if that's okay. But like, that'd be amazing. That would work
I think
so
you're
well.
probably going to get a lot of comments saying that's a really good idea.
What do you think she should wear?
I was going to go on to that.
Yeah.
I heard
because that's a massive thing.
Yeah.
someone said she should wear a bowler hat.
Right, okay.
Of like a Q&A thing we put up.
Right. Okay.
I
Odd job.
obviously this sounds obviously this sounds a bit whatever, but I like Romana's costume from Destiny of the Daleks.
Yeah.
The kind of Romana reflection of the
Of
Fourth
the
Doctor.
Doctor, yeah.
I just like a long white coat.
Yeah.
Riding boots.
Yeah.
Like a cool.
I
I was going to say,
Right.
you have to describe this through. I'm going to sit on my phone like,
so-
let's have a look.
Yeah. Riding boots are something that I
Riding
said-
boots. We were both sold on the idea of riding boots.
I quite like. Yeah.
I'd like velvet.
Yeah.
I'd like some velvet.
You see it more in Deadly Assassin. That kind of great Edwardian kind of like.
Oh, the Buccaneers.
the
sort of-
Buccaneers, like that kind of
Yeah,
look.
that's really
a
cool.
Buccaneer look could be cool.
Yeah. One of the other rumour that I keep hearing is 10 episodes, but the most recent one was like mainly set on Earth. How would you feel about that? Like less.
I'd be disappointed to not see, like, I don't know, 30 to 40% of the story set on another planet.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair like weighting,
Yeah.
really, especially if you're not just going to do contemporary Earth.
Yeah.
If it's going to be Earth in the 20s or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess maybe. I see. I'm just thinking. All the stories set on Earth. Is that because you can't fly the TARDIS?
Again, that's like another
you
thing.
just instantly
Yeah.
think like.
Of all the jokes that are going to be made.
Yeah.
That's
It's,
the one.
do you know, it's quite upsetting.
Totally.
It's really sad to hear.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's annoying. But that you shouldn't like. No other instance would you go. Or like the Doctor, Matt Smith. You get jokes about his toy's going to come packaged with a raffle and like a dummy or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not in anywhere near the same kind of
No,
ballpark.
it's not to do with like a socially formed view of of what Matt Smith is
Absolutely.
like inherently.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if this comes from the idea of, Broadchurch again.
Yeah. What did you say they thought it would be like?
So the way that it was described was like Stranger Things. Have you seen Stranger Things? Yeah. So very much like Stranger Things, one story, over 10 episodes, so like a very strong arc throughout 10 episodes. And the majority of it set on Earth.
But if the rumours that it's going to be particularly monster orientated are true, I don't get how you would. That would just be like, another alien this week and another alien this week.
Yeah. But I guess it worked for the Pertwee era.
Yeah, it did. But then they also had like
Then again, it was like 6 episode stories. Like you'd have 6
there is
weeks
that.
of one monster.
There is that, but then you'd also have like the Green Death, where it's like a corporation is the bad guy.
That's true.
Which you can still have, obviously, but
Yeah.
if the rumours are that it's going to be like new monsters, and it's going to be very monster baddie driven, monster of the week driven, I would expect them to be planet hopping from episode to
Episode
episode.
to, yeah.
It might make sense that rather than kind of not being able to leave the planet, it's there's a very strong threat on Earth
Yeah,
at a certain time,
yeah.
and they will go to other places, but they need to keep coming back.
Yeah.
There is this threat there.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like the Vault.
That is a bit like the Vault,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Do you want any old monsters to come back in this series, or
You have to have a Dalek episode. Like she has to have a Dalek episode.
yeah.
Like, and it's not just like, oh, every new monster's got to face the Dalek. It's like, she's the first female Doctor.
Doctor.
She's
She
got to
has
face
have-
the big bad.
She
Yeah.
has to have a Dalek episode in her first season.
Yeah.
And it's got to be like a Base Under Siege confrontation
And
face
you
to
know-
face with
Yeah,
the Daleks.
yeah.
kind
And
of
Base
deal.
Under Siege stories are my favourite
Yeah,
so
kind of
you like,
stories.
yeah.
But like, I completely agree with you in that actually. Just like
Well-
really, really agree. Even though I don't really like Dalek stories,
No.
I would agree that I think that
That's one of the things I'd say. If it was any other instance, if it was a new Doctor
Like-
and a new showrunner, it's like, don't have the
Don't-
Daleks for
yeah.
like 2 seasons.
No.
Or make them the big baddie of the next finale
Yeah.
of the next year. But I think she really needs to face something, almost something to affirm like
Yeah.
people
like,
like
I am the Doctor.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna Doctor. I'm gonna blow these Daleks away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna defeat the Cybermen. I'm gonna, all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know.
I think I mean
And seeing as the Cybermen were in abundance last year.
yeah. I think very much like if it had been like another man, yeah, I would have just been like, no, I don't want any monsters coming back.
Yeah.
All new monsters. But yeah, the Daleks would be the exception in this case because I think it works very well in like Power of the Daleks when Patrick has just become the Doctor. People at home are like, oh, I don't really like this. The companions are like, oh, is he really the Doctor? He's just like appeared, like
Yeah.
what's happened to William Hartnell. To have that moment where it's the Dalek that goes,
the Doctor.
Yeah.
it's the Doctor, and like they're like, shit. It recognises the
Yeah.
Doctor.
Because-
It's because he
because-
knows this is
I
the
like
same man.
The Daleks don't give a shit about the gender of the Doctor.
Oh, yeah,
it's
no.
just
Okay.
that's the Doctor.
Yeah. And they won't. Well, I would hate it if the Daleks commented on it. If
I
the Daleks
think,
went,
I think I trust Chibnall not to do that.
Yeah, they
I
wouldn't
trust
but
them not
they
to.
don't discriminate, do they?
No,
They
but
do
like
anything.
that would be that'd be something where they just like maybe they don't recognise her initially.
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
go, oh, hang on, do a scan.
Yeah,
oh, it is the
it's
Doctor.
Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so
That'd be
great.
much better just from the off.
Yeah.
Do you know
It's
what?
the Doctor,
I don't know
yeah.
if I'm putting too much trust in Chibnall, but with regards to the gender elements, I really, really trust him.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Like so, his writing for women is incredible.
Yeah.
He writes women not as if they were men, but he writes women as well as he writes men.
Yeah.
Like they're very believable and very very rich, and I hate the term strong women because I don't think you have to be physically or emotionally strong to be a three-dimensional character. But all of his characters, whether they're weak, strong, whether they're in any respect, he writes very three-dimensional, rich-bodied characters. So I really hope he brings that to the Doctor like so much. I'm just
Yeah.
praying that he does a good job with that. Not just for you guys, because I know how it's such a big part of both your lives.
Yeah.
But also, like, people are going to hate this, but also socially, I feel like this is a huge stepping stone for just kind of, for just television in general. I feel
Yeah.
like it is a very, very big, very important move.
But that's the thing, like, people at work essentially like, I didn't realise how much of a big deal it was.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I kept seeing stuff on Twitter, like, Hollywood stars, like,
Yeah.
commenting on it.
It's
And it's like,
historic.
Yeah.
and they're like, I didn't realise it was such a big deal. And I said that to them. I said, you have no idea. I said, this is the most historic thing since William Hartnell changed into Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
But this
I said-
is not even just in Doctor Who, this is historic
television.
in
Yeah,
television.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a male character now being played by a female.
But not just the male character, an incredibly important...
Yeah, like one of the most
Yeah.
iconic characters
Yeah.
on television.
Yeah. That
You know,
is
in history, you know.
always been a man.
Yeah.
That's
People
always been
just
a man.
look
Yeah,
at
you know.
the Doctor's a man.
He's the oldest. He's the oldest television character. Surely,
It's
by
not.
now.
It's not just gender bending a character. It's not just changing them into a different gender.
Yeah.
This is a character that could change gender, but never has
Never has,
before.
yeah.
They've never
Finally
elected
has.
to do it.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same when there's a Doctor of Colour as
Yeah.
well, whether
Yeah,
they're male or
precisely.
female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. I think that's probably all you can say
Yeah.
for now. because-
Besides us complaining about what size and dimensions the TARDIS will be.
Oh, holy shit,
and that
yeah.
the windows will be the wrong size.
Yeah.
They
I hope
might
they
make it
change that
pink.
baseball.
Yeah.
Make it pink.
Oh god. Yeah. So I guess like by the time this video goes out, we may have even heard like who the new companion is. You know, I keep hearing that it's going to be sort of any time soon. And I guess they start filming October, November. I think it's 9 months, isn't it, to film a series
Yeah.
of Doctor Who? And I think it's
It
sort of
depends
like
when they're
October,
aiming
November. I think
to release
it's, yeah, October, November was
Yeah.
sort of like the date that I heard that it was going to come out next year. So
Okay,
it'll probably be
later in the
Right, so-
evenings, getting darker.
yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I'm sure if there's any interesting stuff that comes out, we'll comment on it.
Oh, hello, Daddy.
Absolutely.
See you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.